I have a pet peeve. I hate the term soft skills. There's nothing soft about them, you know. And when we talk about hard skills and soft skills, as if they're in opposition to each other, which is nonsense. It's hard skills and human skills. Hard skills are the skills I need to do my job, and human skills are the skills I need to be a better human being. And it's the skills of it's being, and human skills are the skills that make better leaders. And you're 100% right. So I had the opportunity to spend time with the Navy SEALs, which is a very high performing organization. And I spent time with the head of training for the Navy SEALs. And they have an elite group within the Navy SEALs. And I asked him, how do you choose who gets into that elite group? And he drew on a graph, on a piece of paper, an XY axis, performance versus trust. And the way they define performance is the way we define performance. Do you hit your numbers? It's all the stuff that we're used to measuring, right? The way they define trust is, what kind of person are you? The way they put it is, I may trust you with my life, but do I trust you with my money or my wife? I mean, they're SEALs. Anyway, what he was explaining to me is that clearly nobody wants the low performer of low trust down here. Clearly, nobody wants that person, right? Clearly, everybody wants the high performer of high trust. Of course, that's what everybody wants. What they learned is that the high performer of low trust is a toxic team member. And they would actually rather have a medium performer of high trust, sometimes even a low performer of high trust, it's a relative scale, over the high performer of low trust. Now, if you think about it in business, we have a million metrics to measure someone's performance, and we have negligible to zero metrics to measure someone's trustworthiness. And so we accidentally keep promoting toxic team members to become toxic leaders who are driven by self-interest predominantly, and are not people who we necessarily trust. We may like them, we may get along with them, but we don't trust them. The amazing thing is it's unbelievably easy to identify these people in a team. Just go ask any team who the asshole is, and they'll all point to the same person. Easy, right? Likewise, it's actually very easy to identify the high trust employees. Go ask any team member who on your team will always be there for you when the chips are down. You trust them more than anybody. You want to be more like them, and they embody the values of the company better than anybody. They'll also all point to the same person, and that person may not be your best individual performer, but they are actually one of your best natural leaders who are getting higher performance and greater morale out of everybody else. And yet they're completely ignored inside the organization very often because we don't have a system to recognize and reward them. And so I'm a big fan of peer reviews. I think peer reviews are a fantastic way to identify some of the people who really do build great organizations, who are great leaders inside our teams. So yeah, you're 100% right. We do a very, very bad job of identifying people who have some of these other attributes, these human skills. And human skills include things like listening, empathy, patience, how to have difficult conversations, how to have effective confrontations. You know, we work with people who, when they want to give us hard feedback, it's like they hurt us, you know, as opposed to helping us. There are difficult conversations. The rise of Black Lives Matter in the United States and in other places, I think, is a very good example, where there's a lot of team leaders who did nothing. Not because they're bad people, it's because they didn't know how to have the conversation, because nobody taught them how to have difficult conversations. We have to teach human skills if we want people to learn how to be better leaders. We don't teach people how to lead. We promote people who have high performance, and then we expect them to know how to lead, which is nonsense. You know, in you're in finance, for example, somebody taught you finance. They taught you how to read a P&L. If they didn't teach you how to do it, you wouldn't know how to do it. And it's the practice that made you good at your job. And then all of a sudden, just because you happen to be good at that job, we promote you to a position where you're now responsible for the people who do the job you used to do, but we don't teach you how to do your new job. We just expect people to know how to lead. Because you're good at finance doesn't mean you're good at leading a finance organization. They are completely separate skill sets. And so I think most companies are desperately lacking in teaching leadership, quite frankly. They have a 2-day offsite, including a day of golf. You know, they hire speakers like me, and, you know, and that's it. They think that's leadership training. I mean, those things are important, but that's not leadership training. You need real curricula inside your company. You need mentors and teachers and metrics to measure things like listening, empathy. You get it.
Right,
If you
right.
teach it, people will know how to do it.